Hey everybody, my name is E. I'm from E. Daniel Films. Today I wanted to show you guys my camera collection, not including the R7, which is recording this. It's got 4K, it can shoot 4K and 60 FPS at the same time. It is one of my personal favorite cameras. However, I do believe that Sony does make better video cameras. Canon is great and amazing for photography. So let's start off with in chronological order. So first, I've got this little Handycam right here. It is an absolute beaut. It is a classic because it's a CCD TRV-43. It has infrared on it, and it does take tape. Obviously, it is an old school camcorder. You can get a converter that records it automatically straight to an SD card, but it's kind of pricey as in like $200, $200 that I don't have to spend right now. So yeah, I do have a couple of old Hi8 tapes just laying around the house from like 2007. They haven't been used, so I'll film on them, and it's really fun to do. So that's this one. I guess I'm not going in chronological order because I completely forgot these old boys. Alright. Mamiya Secor. I do not know what year it came out. I do not know the specifics of it. I just know that I like this thing. It's fun, captures good pictures, and it is pretty hefty. It's pure metal. Obviously, some of the pieces are machined out of plastic or whatever. Textured plastic. Feels kind of like rubber. But yeah, I really like this one. It was the first film camera that I got. And I got it for Christmas in 2021. And I haven't developed my photos yet. So that is the Mamiya Secor. I know I'm either moving a little fast, or I don't seem like I don't seem to know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not a professional. I'm just showing off my camera collection because I have way too many cameras to keep account of. But yeah. So I'd like to show you guys this sucker. It's another film camera. It's a T70 made by Canon. And yeah, so it's got some electronics to it. It's electronic, or yeah, it's not digital. It's still film, but it's got some electronic components to it. This was a camera from the 80s, and one of my favorite lenses that I use. It's a 70 to 200 millimeter FD mount. Comes from this camera, and I found an adapter for FD to EF, which I will link down below. And then for this camera, I use an EF to RF mount, or R mount, and it works perfectly. There's no decrease in quality. All right. So that was the T70. I'll show you guys another camcorder. My first digital camcorder and my first personal camcorder. I don't know exactly who made this. It's one of my favorites just because it's so fun, and it doesn't shoot top quality by any stretch. It shoots 1080, and it's like a 2016 phone shooting in HD, so it wasn't the best quality, in my opinion. But it's a fun little thing, and I'll play around with it every now and then. And yeah, so it's lightweight. It's it's well built. Don't get me wrong. But it's nowhere near the camera that I'm using right now, or even this sucker right here, which is another Handycam, just FX1. Still shoots in tape. This one is a mini DV, I believe. Yeah, it shoots in 1080i. But you might be wondering, E, how did you get this? How did you get your hands on this camera? Nepotism. I'm kidding. I've got an uncle who gave it to my cousins, and my cousins were like, "We don't need this camera. We'll give it to you." And so I was like, "Oh, thank you." And so I got this camera free over April break. And it's a pretty dope camera in my opinion. Big and bulky. I love it because it makes it feel more like a TV show set, like one of those talk shows, like Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Carson or Johnny Carson, whatever the hell his name was. So, yeah, I have not been able to shoot on this just because it's so big, but the batteries still work. It came with two batteries. It still has both batteries. Let me see. Battery release. This big sucker right here, this lasts like 4 or 5 hours, I think. Something like that. I've barely used it in the past few months, and it hasn't drained at all. It works just fine. Yeah, so right now it's on. So, yeah, I can film whatever, do whatever on this thing. It's great for music videos. I will say that. It gives it this grungy 90s, early 2000s look, and I love that look, that aesthetic. It feels genuine because it is genuine. And it's not some of that phony stuff. You know what I mean? Personally, my favorite for photography is this one right here. It's a DSLR. The one that I'm filming on is a mirrorless. And this is a T6i. It's an EOS T6i made by Canon. The lens that I'm filming on right now originally came from this one. It's a kit lens, because goddamn, those things are expensive as hell. But this thing gets some damn good pictures. All right. My Instagram is filled with pictures from this camera. I'm gonna start marking off which ones were this camera and which ones were that camera. But most of my shorter form content or whatever will most likely be on this camera. So yeah, that's a run through of my collection of cameras. I am selling a couple of lenses. I don't know what camera or what brand they come from, but they're a couple of old SLR cameras or lenses, sorry. So if you'd like to buy them, please feel free to DM me on Instagram. My Instagram I will be linking down below. It is eDanielFilm, and I will see you on the flip side.